I love everything and anything queer. I will interpret things as being queer that aren't supposed to be queer, or maybe they are.
I don't want to be straight, no! And I'm sorry if I'm offending anyone straight out there. I love you so much. Please be a fierce, fierce, fierce ally. We love and appreciate you.
Ballroom music is on 24/7 in my apartment all June, okay? I want a boom cat when I wake up. I want a death drop when I'm making my sandwich for lunch. It's Pride Month. Get into it.
Imagine a place where we can be together. I mean, it doesn't seem like we're asking that much, but after recent experiences that we all share, we realize how precious that is and how it could be taken away. So it's about community, being together. I remember it. Do you remember people and being around people? Going out, pride parades, I mean, come on.
Pre-drag career, it was bus, club, another club, another club. But then when I was in drag, it was paid in the club. Another club, another club.
The very first Pride that I went to was in a conference room in the University of Illinois in Urbana, where I grew up. And it was a bunch of conference tables of like condoms and rainbow pride stickers. And I accepted that and I was thrilled.
The fun part is always after the parade, and we're just talking about the day and how all of what we've seen, who we ran into, and you know, the people you encounter during Pride.
You just see a plethora of every single little colorful human being that makes up our queer community, and you just feel at home.
This year has been one for the books for me in terms of being proud of myself. And this Pride is gonna be extra special for me, and I'm so glad I get to share it with everyone.
I think it goes without saying that for drag artists, we continue to celebrate as if it were Pride throughout the rest of the year.
Imagine a place where you're with all of your best friends, you're all glammed out in whatever you want to be glammed out in. It's midnight, and we're starting Chromatica from start to finish, and we're listening to that until the sun comes up. Imagine that place.
I saw a picture of Cher in People magazine, and I was like, why is she dressed like that? She's wearing almost nothing in a public place. My mother was like, well, because she wants attention. And I was like, I'm gay. It was just like, there's like a missing link there, but you get it. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, that's what I want.
To Wong Fu, thanks for everything, Julie Newmar, which introduces a vision of small-town America that is open and welcoming to drag queens, and in which drag queens are open and welcome to small-town America. And as someone living in central Illinois, I really needed that fantasy.
First was my crush on the Red Ranger. Plus, hello, they were already the rainbow colors. And then what solidified it was watching MTV Spring Break, RuPaul. And I was like, who is she? And I was like, you know, I was always living for like Janet and all that. Then RuPaul came and I was like, wait, this is different. This is sickening. And then I found out RuPaul was a man. I was like, oh. That started the enlightenment of who Jiggly was.
Watching the movie Titanic, I wasn't allowed to go see it in the theaters. I was still too young, but I caught that VHS. I had feelings that I didn't quite understand at first, and then I started to explore those as I became more of a member of our Pride community.
I've always been so supported within my family, so like normalized. So I basically came out of the womb dancing to Lady Marmalade.
During the VMAs in 2010, when Gaga showed up in a meat dress, and I was like, oh my God. At some point in my life, I have to wear a meat dress. Right after she won the award, she went on the stage and sang Born This Way, and I was just like, oh, mother.
Imagine a place where snacking would be 0 calories, you wouldn't gain weight. It would be the perfect world. Chocolate has endorphins. Endorphins make people happy.
I always thought that I shouldn't take away from my career in order to pay attention to my mental health. I was like, I don't have an hour to spare for therapy. But the thing is, if you don't spare that hour, you will not show up on time to that gig. Show up for therapy so that you can show up for the rest of your life. Mental health is important regardless of what season we're in. This happens to be an amazing and fun season, Pride. But that doesn't mean that people aren't still struggling in certain ways, and sometimes we might not even know that. So it's important to keep that in mind, I think, as we're celebrating together. That you never quite know what someone's going through, what they just went through, or what they're about to go through.
Baby, go out there, get your therapist, get you in the right state of mind, and get in the good Pride season mood.
Imagine a place where you can just be 150% authentically you. There's great music playing that you totally vibe with. You're around people that you love and care about. You feel completely supported.
Being Jan makes me really proud. It's my ultimate truth of the queer person that's inside of me, and it's the way that I get to express all of those different things that I love about queerness.
I feel like I found a purpose for my voice. I didn't think that being a former sex worker or a kid from the street or somebody that grew up from a broken home, I didn't think that I had the right knowledge or the right voice to speak on certain matters or certain issues, when in fact I am one of the most perfect people to speak on it because I've lived through it instead of somebody who's never lived that life.
I like to think of Olivia as like the battery that creatively fuels and like allows me to use my voice louder, prouder as Freddie.
I always lacked confidence as a boy. And then in drag, people started respecting my voice because I was in drag. So I got used to people respecting my voice, and I started to demand it when I was out of drag too. When I'm not in drag, I still have Miss Cracker in my heart. So I still have that strength. We share the same body, so when Miss Cracker learns something, I learn something too. Excuse me. We share the same body.
Imagine a place where we all get to dance, drink, have fun with no masks on. Baby, that is my happy place. Let me tell you, any bar in Brooklyn, I've done them all.
The most fun part about being in the queer community is just celebrating with other people who get it. And I don't really even need to talk about that. Just celebrating with people who get it. And if you get it, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
The clothes. A fearless approach to life and fashion. I would like for that to spread beyond our community as well, but we definitely have it like no one else.
There's nothing more fun than being queer, than being a homo, than being gay. There's so much to being gay and in gay culture and gay life. If you can be gay for a day, I encourage you to do it.
Imagine a place where everyone around you is committed to love and encouragement and kindness.
Inclusivity is so important because as queer people, we are ostracized in a way just by growing up. I mean, I went to an all-boys Catholic school when I was younger, and it was so weird being one of the only out queer people there. I felt really isolated. And to be able to have a community where we're all accepting of each other and loving of each other, it's amazing that we can all come together and celebrate and be there for one another. I am coming up on my 10-year high school reunion, and I haven't gotten an invite yet, so boys, look out. If the girl wants to come, invite me, include me this time.
It's important to be inclusive in Pride because we are a huge umbrella of different kinds of people. That's what makes us so special. That's what makes us so unique, and that's what makes us so powerful. Let's be real here. Without us, it'd be a boring ass world.
Inclusivity is the cornerstone of queerness. If you are not being inclusive and you are queer, you missed a big lesson somewhere because at one point you were excluded.
Inclusivity, come on, like that's what we do best, okay?
Is it wrong to say, imagine a place where we build each other up? There's this vision that I have in my head, you know, when you have a bunch of crabs in a bucket, the reason that most of them can't escape is because they're always grabbing on each other and pulling each other down. We're always like yanking each other down when we could be stacking our little clawy selves up and getting out of here.
Something that's not talked about enough when it comes to Pride is that there are still problems within our community. And I think that reflection is something that we all need to do a little bit more of during Pride. So check ourselves and make sure that we're putting out all of the inclusion that we possibly can.
History doesn't get enough attention. I think sometimes we don't know. It's like you try to fish for the name of a drag artist before 1950 and there's like 5, because those stories were literally hidden, where those people were arrested for doing what we now can make money doing. And I think those stories need to be told more and more, and they remind us, hopefully, that government and institutions hasn't always had our back, and that opens up, I think, an awareness that we have to continue to be critical and continue to fight against legislation that oppresses people.
What could deserve more attention is where companies are marketing to, where these marketing dollars are going, and if they are continuing to do that throughout the year when everyone's not watching.
Being prideful also means remembering our fellow folks that are in other countries that may not be able to be as prideful, be able to cheer out as loud as we are at the marches in New York City. We're cheering and marching for them as well.
It's amazing that we get this month to kind of step forward and let the world know how necessary we are, how talented we are, how loving we are, and how we deserve all of those things in return. But when we get deeper into community, it's about July as well, and August and September and every other month.
For me, I've been blessed to be able to attend Pride at different parts of the world, and it's so beautiful to see where at the end of the day, it's all love. It's all being proud of being who you are and proud of your community and what our community has gone through from 1969 and before to now. It is amazing.
Live your fantasy, live your life, you know? No one can tell you nothing. The only person that can tell you something about you is you. Period.
Autumn is so gay, and you know what's more gay than autumn? Autumnal. Like the word autumnal, what is that?
The only thing I run out of is breath. I never run out of things to say. And another thing.
Look over here, the Drag Race YouTube channel is always bringing amazing content, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing.